Okay, all right. Happy February, everybody. I'm Dr. Hammer, and I have an amazing specialist today. This is Brenda. She is a health coach, and we're going to be talking today about love. And it's February, and Valentine's Day is coming up. And this has been coming up a lot in my practice. People feeling lonely, even couples, they're feeling disconnected. So we're just going to have like a conversation today about love, loneliness, and setting your values, setting your worth, and how we can do that. So I'm going to talk about my story. I actually used to hate Valentine's Day. I hate the idea of it. I think it's ridiculous that relationships and couples only treat their significant other well on a certain day. They only, take them out to a nice fancy dinner on Valentine's Day. They only buy them a nice, beautiful diamond bracelet on Valentine's Day. I just hated it. Roses are 5 times the price. Cookies are 5 times the price. Everything's just like so expensive. It's just like putting the word wedding or medical on stuff. It just makes everything inflated. So I actually, my husband and I, we used to celebrate anti-Valentine's Day, which was the 15th, because roses were cheap and candy was cheap and we could go out to dinner and there was nobody there because they got it out last night. And I just used to hate the idea of it. And now that I'm in a better relationship and, by no means has my husband and I had an easy relationship, but now we communicate well on how that devalues a person when you only treat them well on not even Valentine's Day. It could be an anniversary. It could be Christmas. It could be their birthday, right? Like these days are not the only days to treat your significant other well. And so, that's something that, used to just drive me bonkers. So, Brenda, I don't know if you have ideas of when you're in an intimate relationship or, courting somebody or, you're interested in somebody, how do you not fall into the pitfall of, oh, it's Valentine's Day, so I'm going to treat this person special. But then on the 15th, you fall back off and you're not treating that person well. So any ideas, thoughts on that?
Yeah, so a few things come to my mind when you say this, and thank you for sharing your story with a lot of people. So a relationship has to be a relationship that you work on 365 days a year. It's not a relationship that you're just going to say, you know what, I acknowledge you exist in my life on this certain day and I'm going to spoil you. And then I'm going to go right back to my habits of not giving you attention, not being there for you emotionally, and being supportive of what that person needs. So in a relationship, you have to continually give love. This is not an on-off switch. It has to be continuous, because if you don't, then you start falling into these relationships where you have an avoidant person, you have somebody who's not secure, and this puts so much strain on relationships. And I got to say, there's a lot of people that are getting divorced. I mean, think about it for a minute. Why do we have such a high divorce rate? Because we feel like we're not giving that person what they need all the time. But then it goes right back to, okay, well, are you giving yourself what you need to be able to give that to other people? So what I would say is, look, if you're in a relationship and you want it to work, you have to be equal across the board. This is just not a switch that you're going to turn off and turn it back on when you feel like it, because you have emotions that play into it, and you're pretty much playing with somebody else's emotions when you're doing that. And it's just it's so washy. Like, that's just not a secure relationship. You don't want to be in a relationship like that. So if you're in this type of relationship, I would suggest really evaluate the things that are really going on behind the scenes. Are you the one being avoidant? This other person being avoidant? And are you guys really compatible for one another? Mm-hmm. Because to be in a good relationship, secure people will attract secure people. So make sure you're good with you, they're good with them. You guys have boundaries and you guys understand each other's boundaries, and nobody's going to cross them and make the other person feel less valued, less loved, less worthless, So that's what I would say on that. And just really accept yourself and the other person as they come.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, and tough conversations, you have to have those. If you are afraid of having a conversation and saying this is what I need and this is how I feel valued and this is how I feel loved, if you're afraid of having that conversation, then that's not the right person to be with. Because if you don't even feel like you can have that conversation and ask what you need, then ask for what you need, then it's never going to go anywhere. And so I think one thing that I would challenge everybody to do in the month of February is to challenge their partner and ask for something that they need, have conversations about, hey, you know what, this happened. How can we move forward from this? How can we change this? This is how it made me feel. And I would love to see this, changed. And if it's not going to get changed and that's, that's important to you, then that's a really great signal that things are just not going to move.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that I love that. Okay. So then the other half is I definitely have a lot of couples that are coming in, they're struggling. Holidays just happened, and that's a lot of stress, a lot of strain. And then you come in and February is all about, love and being together, and it's Valentine's Day and it's special, treating each other special, whatever. But some of my couples have been talking about how that's a strain on them. So I love your thoughts on that. But the other side of this is that a lot of my patients, I would say the other 50% are single and are starting to feel isolated and alone. Same thing over the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you're supposed to be with family, friends, your significant other, and that can make people feel alone. And now the Valentine's Day is all about love and being connected. And so how can we change the thought process and the pattern of setting your value of, if you're not with somebody, you can't enjoy this holiday?
Mhm. Yeah. So I love the way that you're explaining it, because we have accepted a tradition for the month of February, which is based on you have to be in a relationship in order to receive love. And that's something that I would like to change, but it's going to take a lot of people to change it, because honestly, when you say, oh, I'm in a relationship and this is when I can celebrate love, but you're not allowed to do it on your own, that's kind of giving somebody else the power of saying, I'm going to love you unconditionally, but only if we're in a relationship. That's not how it should go. You should be able to have what I like to call self-love, self-care. And that is not just being in a relationship, it's being in love with the physical part of you, the emotional part of you, the mental part of you. This is all who you are. And when you have every single little piece 100% put together, oh my gosh, you're going to be the most seeked out person. Your confidence, your value, your worth. You put your own worth and your own value on you as a person, your love, and who you're going to attract into that relationship with you. So you need to have a good relationship with you first, because when you do find that other person that's going to be a part of your life, you're choosing them. This is you. You're saying, I choose for you to be in a relationship with me. I don't want you to, but it's a choice that you're making and you're taking control. So you have to be able to say, emotionally, I am 100% complete. I know where I am and I know what my end goals are. Physically, you're going to build the confidence of, if you go and you lose weight, oh my gosh, like I've lost weight. I know how exciting that is and the confidence that it builds, and you feel great. And you're fueling your body with the right type of food that's going to give you that overall feel good. You're refueling in a good way. And then the emotion, not the emotional, we already talked about that one, the feeling part of it, you have to understand and be able to know what you're feeling, because we'll brush stuff underneath the rug and then we just think it goes away. It doesn't go away. It will resurface. May not be now, maybe 10 years down the road when you're in a relationship. And then what? You put those feelings and that PTSD onto the other person, and that's going to cause conflict. So you knowing who you are 100%, love yourself 100% without anybody else putting an idea of what love should be on you is the best way to really love yourself on Valentine's Day and every single day. That's what it's about.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, I was just having a conversation about this with one of my patients, that you get to set your worth. You get to set your value. Nobody else gets to do that. And unfortunately, we have allowed external, stimuli to set that value for us. And you have to make the choice that it's like, I'm worth this amount, right? Not this amount. You think I'm worth this, but I'm worth this.
Mhm.
And as soon as you can set your own value and you feel like 100% confident in that, like, you're right, that's exactly when relationships blossom. And I think, going back to our couple friends, I think when um, we allow our partner to set our value in that, that can make us feel less than. And again, it's going back to setting your value. And if that relationship is not, the value set is not matched, unfortunately it is. Sometimes it's sad, with divorces or breakups. But if that is a mismatch, you're either going to be miserable, or you get to be, single by yourself, but loving yourself, so you're allowed to have what you want. And if you just communicate with your significant other or with yourself, you can set that value and be happy.
Absolutely. And communication is so key. And I really like that you bring that up. Is that's the thing, we don't communicate anymore. And it's very difficult, because if you're not able to, like you said, express who you are, then this person can't read your mind.
Mhm.
We think that they should know what we want, but they can't read it. So communication is key 100% in a relationship, outside of a relationship. Even the communication that happens in your own mindset
Mhm.
is key. Is it healthy? Is that a healthy conversation you're mentally having with yourself? If it's not, that needs to change. Same with the relationship. It has to be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's a great one for our next talk. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. And anybody who has questions, message us, comment on it. And if you have more thoughts for talks that you want us to have, then let us know. Otherwise, thank you guys for listening. And thank you, Brenda, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yay.